Hey everyone. Last week I uploaded a short film I made for my ice hockey team at Drexel University. Sort of this mini doc hype video that I've had in my head for the last couple of years now. And I figured I'd do a short breakdown video here and show you guys how I took the project from my brain to pre-production to set. This video is sponsored by... Yeah, this is not sponsored by any means whatsoever, but it may as well have been. I used Milanote during the entire process of this whole project from beginning to end, helped me lay out my thoughts, stay organized, and craft my story. All right, so let's take a look at what we got in here. As you can see, everything is super laid out nice and clean for me here. Normally the first thing I like to do is kind of throw in the client logo and a couple photos or a couple reference videos that I think really embody the piece to kind of just have a jump start to liven the board up a little bit when there's nothing in there to start off. Yeah, there's so much stuff you can do within Milanote. It's awesome. Like even like music, like hear that? Like I also used MusicBed. Shout out to MusicBed for this project, but being able to download tracks and put them into your Milanote board and have everything in one place is like a game changer. Like I said, this was a project that I've had in my head for a long time, and around a year ago I made an initial treatment, something to kind of show the initial concept and kind of lay out the tone, and that's right here in the Milanote board. It definitely needed a lot of work at the time, and it was something that was just a good first step into taking what was in my head, putting it out there into something tangible. So I have this treatment, and it's a great first step, but it's very far from getting this thing to the final product. So the next thing I like to do is gather some reference videos. So I'll jump into this board. I have to give credit where credit is due. My great friend and mentor, Danny Gevertz, I think he calls them inspired viewing sessions. This is kind of like his way of gathering inspiration. So what I do is I go on YouTube, Vimeo, Instagram, look at a ton of different videos that inspire me and kind of have a similar tone to something that I'm going for this video. And then I take note of each video that I'm watching of different aspects. So whether that's the music, whether that's the editing style, lighting, composition, just general tone, essentially taking bits and pieces from work that inspires you and pulling them all together and coming up with your own twist is how you make really good work, in my opinion. So once you have this collection of videos, I go through, I watch them again. I'll take screen grabs, for instance, and put them all into a folder, and that becomes my mood board. So I'll head back into the mood board. So all those projects, this is kind of a palette of images and stills that I think really embody or should embody this piece. This then becomes a library for you of assets to construct your storyboard, your shot lists, and really be able to visually communicate your story. Diving into the next step in my process, I have my inspiration, I have all my stills, I have my mood board. Next comes to putting together your story. So I picked around 4 or 5 main sequences that I knew I wanted to be a part of the piece, and each of them was kind of like an act almost to drive the film itself. And then another little thing I like to do was at the top of each of these sequences, I kind of just did it for this project, but I wrote out a little blurb for the kind of meaning behind each of these sequences. So something to really like establish the tone. I ended up liking them so much that it actually became the voiceover. I ended up using each of these little captions almost as questions or statements that the interview would serve to answer or reaffirm, which was a cool way to kind of tell the story. Yeah, so from there I started to just construct the story, and we open on an early morning at the rink and at a gym, kind of just showing our hard work ethic, showing grit, getting up, working when no one's watching, then transitioning to sort of an outdoor sequence. We really wanted to show off the campus. We wanted to show Philadelphia, hitting that culture and the nuances of Philadelphia in this sequence was really what we were going for. We also wanted to, speak to the education you get at Drexel University. So guys studying outside, kind of hitting on the opportunity and the education and the network that you create while you're at Drexel. Then kind of the gearing up sequence is what I have here next. Kind of preparing for battle is like the theme. This sequence is mainly to build tension before we get into our main montage, which is the action. So, we started with hockey, this is about a hockey team, but it's about so much more than that. So, hitting through all these things while hockey is kind of that through line, we wanted to end back on the end goal, which is winning a national championship. Another cool little thing that I have in the outdoor section here, I wanted to have the subjects kind of speak to the camera, have dialogue a little bit, because it would have been a little bit boring if it was just voiceover and interview the entire time. So I thought it would be cool to, again, showing our international reach as a university, as a team, having Let's Go Dragons in different languages. So we have a bunch of kids that are from across the globe coming to play hockey here, coming to school here. Having them say Let's Go Dragons in different languages is kind of a cool way to just show the diversity that we have here. And then the other piece, kind of some dialogue here in this almost climactic moment, culture is everything, family, dedication, respect, pillars that define us. And then instead of the voiceover artist saying what defines you, I wanted one of our players to kind of look into the camera and record him saying what defines you before really kind of the crescendo of the payoff, which is the game montage. So, all of the high speed, high action moments happening right after that. As you can kind of see on the bottom here, I have some interview points. I knew at certain moments I wanted to be talking about specific things. Also, just knowing my coaches and my teammates really well, I knew that there were certain points that they could really speak to and kind of help to drive the story once again. There are specific quotes in here, like hard work starts when no one's watching. That's something that our coach has always said. And I think, setting your subjects up in an interview to talk about things that they know and that they're passionate about is how you get the most authentic stuff. Also, just a quick side note on all that. I think, the fact that I'm so close to this project, I know my teammates, I know my coaches, I know this sport so well, I think helped create a really, really authentic piece. And I think in anything that you do, any sort of project, really taking the time to get to know your subjects, getting to know the topic, whatever it is, that really helps you to create the best work that you possibly can. There's a lot of tools out there now, especially AI, and a lot of stuff that helps you kind of get things done faster. And going back to my previous point, I really think that sort of trudging through this entire process, taking the time to make mistakes, fall flat on your face, come up with new ideas, again, helps you to get to know your story on a really deep level. And doing that as a director especially allows you to communicate better with your crew, with your cast. It allows you to articulate your message a lot better. And I think when it comes to the edit, things will just come together a lot more naturally, which I think that's when you're able to communicate at the highest level. All right, so I have this storyboard. It looks great. I'm super pumped on it. But the next step for me was to make sure that this was even possible. I needed to get funding, right? So even though I play for Drexel Ice Hockey and I attend Drexel University, this wasn't funded by the team or by the school. This was my project and something that I had to come up with. So any of the production expenses you can think of, from locations to gear rentals, we had a lot of crew doing work for free, which is amazing, but feeding our crew and providing for crew and every other expense that comes along with that, we had to come up with money. So to cover the rest of those expenses, we opted to crowdsource. And the way we did that was through Indiegogo. So to quickly break that down, this is our Indiegogo page. A lot of times in the commercial world, your producer will kind of negotiate a budget, or your client or agency will give you a budget. And then as a director, you have to come up with a treatment, and then you pitch or you bid for the job. So your producer will go back to the client and agency and kind of present a bunch of different directors, and you'll get picked or not based on your idea, based on your treatment. So this kind of Indiegogo is my pitch. It's my treatment. I took a lot of aspects from that original treatment to kind of build this whole page out, and really treat it as a director's pitch to try and attract people to help back our project. So as you can see, I have a little video of me at the top kind of talking about the project itself, giving an outline of the synopsis, what we need, where the money is going, and then the deliverables and how it supports us as a team. And then, below we have a couple stills, a lot of stuff that I was pulling from that initial treatment that I had made way back. kind of using that to outline the project itself. Indiegogo is really cool because it has a bunch of perks and incentives. So to my surprise, we hit our goal in less than a week. It was amazing to see all the support, and so thankful for everybody that donated and shared. The point of that story is that this whole Indiegogo page was sort of like my pitch to our backers, to our supporters. But, you know, whenever there's money involved with something like this, I think you have to keep in mind that you have to treat your video almost as its own business entity. That means being professional, being transparent and upfront, especially in a donation context when people are giving you money. They want to know where their money's going. They want to know that it's being put to good use. Obviously, you know, I'm still figuring this whole thing out, but I think being authentic and being transparent has, at least for me, been the best policy when dealing with stuff like this. A lot of times it's hard to take that next step into making filmmaking a career, and it's something that I'm still figuring out for myself. After we got the money that we needed, sort of the floodgates opened. We started hiring crew, booking locations, booking talent, sort of just getting a schedule together, getting everything ready. Of course, shot listing was happening, lighting plans were happening. I think I'm going to cover that in a separate video, but there was a lot of moving pieces happening at this time. As the director, a lot of times you're just handling the creative, but you know, when it's a small context like this, I'm doing a little bit of everything. Yeah, especially the last couple days leading up to day one of the production, having a team surrounding me really helped. Obviously, there was jitters. Everybody gets nervous before their first day of shooting. And with so many moving pieces, having people around you that you trust really helped me and made me ready to kind of dive into making the thing itself. This was definitely one of the largest projects that I had worked on that I was the director. My final remark for this entire video, I think while pre-production, especially Milanote, is about staying organized, trudging through this entire process, it really forces you to get to know your project on an extremely intimate level. And doing so, especially as a director, allows you to articulate and communicate with your crew, with your actors, with the people that are funding your project at the highest level possible. And at the end of the day, it allows you to do your job the best that you possibly can. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. I know there was a lot in there. I'm hoping some of it was helpful, maybe some of it not. But yeah, this definitely isn't an end-all, be-all process. I think everybody does pre-production different. This is just how I did it for mine. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you made it this far, I think in the next couple of videos, I'm gonna break down more of like the on-set of this production. I have a lot of really cool BTS footage where our cinematographer Liam strapped a GoPro to his Komodo during the entire rink day of that shoot. So I'll get into shot listing and location scouting. I know that stuff happens in pre-production, but I think it'll be really cool to kind of take a deep dive during the actual production and how it translated. Yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. It's been a little bit since I've been on here, just continuing to figure myself out as a filmmaker, finishing up school, and diving into the freelance world. So got plenty more videos coming your way, and just having fun with this. So appreciate you for watching once again. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Peace.